Hello.
Hello, Felix.
So, Ben, I've just discovered that I'm going to have to re-record the video for last episode because
really?
those of you who are particularly familiar with this novel will notice that we are missing the first page of this chapter.
I thought you weren't going to say anything, Felix. Oh, no.
And
it's all right.
And we went to check the recording to see if we could see the first line of this scene. And when we went to see, it turns out that the video hasn't recorded properly.
Yeah, we can't see the end of last chapter. Like, it's stuck on a line halfway through the previous chapter. It's not good.
Yeah, normally when we record this show on my computer at home,
there's no problems.
There's no problems.
It's
but my
clear.
laptop is very hit and miss because we're recording this in a studio and we run the thing off my laptop while we record into the studio computer. So we always have the audio.
Yeah. The audio works great. It's just the visuals that we have a problem with. But,
Which is weird because it's not as though this laptop is ill-equipped for the task.
Yeah.
I'm very confused by this and I should probably spend some time figuring it out. But hey.
It's fine. What can you do about it? It's fine. At least it's something that could be done with just one of us. We don't need to reconvene to what there's a term for it where you dub over things in a film. There's a term for it. Not sound slap, whatever it is.
ADR?
That's the one, ADR. We have to ADR that shit. We can just be like, yo, keep all the audio as it is, refilm, the stunt people run around the stage, and we're good. Thank God. I guess that means we don't get whatever narration that was.
I guess it doesn't.
It seems we're in the child consultation center. That would be my best guess.
Yeah, I think one of the weird things that's happening at the moment is that Rika is not an emotionally consistent character, and I don't know whether that is intentional or not.
What do you mean? In what way? Explain to me.
In that, at the start of this chapter, she's like, oh my goodness, Keiichi's changing fate. This is some wild, wacky shit. I might be able to escape.
Yeah.
And then Teppei shows up, and she's like, oh no, maybe fate's this going to be the same anyway. But now we get here, and supposedly this is something that they haven't been this far to do before.
Yeah.
And Rika's still being all miserable about it.
Well, this is the thing, right? In this storyline, Rika has seen, however many, rotations of this you might think. Certainly the 5 or so that we've had previously, and probably others. It's implied that she may have seen other instances of Rena blowing up the school, for example,
which is fantastic.
Which is great. And she has presumably died each and every single time, right? That is just something that's happened. So the amount of grief that she's trying to cope with and move forward with is immense. This is something I want to comment on anyway. The fact that it is the moment where Rika says, I've realized that there is no hope anymore, is when we switch to Keiichi's perspective, because he's a character who is gaining hope. Rika has said time and time again, you can't change fate. Miracles aren't that easy, etc., etc. And Keiichi says, yes, they are, which she doesn't believe in, but she's willing to see it out to the end. Because really, what else does she have to do? Right? I don't think that her mental state right now is very good. I think she's really just going through the motions.
Yeah.
Because Keiichi and Mion and Shion are let's go to the child consultation center. What else is she going to do? Just not go with them? Just stay at home?
Yeah. I suppose the thing that's confusing me is that it's not quite established how much repetition Rika has seen.
Sure.
Because, it's implied she's seen the school blown up multiple times. It's implied they've done the toy store multiple times. But the joy that she sees from Keiichi doing something new for the first time in many worlds isn't consistent when he does something, when the group does something new again here.
Well, it's the difference between seeing something new and seeing something familiar, right? She sees Keiichi and the other characters overcome all their problems, except for Sadako, who seems to be deeply mired in her own. And I would say specifically because she lives with Sadako, the tragedy that Sadako undergoes is probably the most emotionally devastating for her, because it completely changes her home life. Even when when bad stuff happens with Shion, Rika doesn't actually do anything until Sadako goes missing. And when Keiichi's the one who's getting in trouble, she doesn't do shit, right? She only, in the previous timelines that we've seen, actually takes interest, except for Sumihiro Boshi, I believe. She only really takes interest directly when Sadako is threatened and her immediate, home life is thrown into disarray. The rest of it is more buying time, thinking, what am I going to do this time? Am I still going to be killed again? Am I still going to have to suffer through the next round of things?
Yeah.
That's certainly how I see it, at least.
Yeah, it's like I don't think that it's necessarily criticism of the story because I think
Sure.
that it's I think I'm not sure whether it's intentional or not. It seems that you think it is. And,
I think it's totally fine.
but I don't think it's a weakness either way. I
Sure.
think that it still serves that purpose that you're describing.
Sure.
Which is totally fine.
Yeah.
I'm just curious to see like how that's going to be paced out over the next few chapters because
Sure.
to me, I feel like I've kind of lost track of how deep we are in because this has been a bit staggered compared to how we normally record.
Yeah.
But I feel like the pacing would have made more sense if like Rika was optimistic for up to here, then something goes wrong here and it starts to spin off.
Yeah. Well, this is,
Yeah, so this implies to me, basically, the point I'm getting to
Yeah.
is that we are going to pick up from here.
Sure.
Where I was expecting that because we still have Arc 8, that maybe things were going to downturn and Arc 8 is where we pick it back up again.
Yeah. The thing that we have to remember is that Rika is not in a great mental state, much as all of the other characters are not. It's why Arc 6 isn't the only mental health arc. It's all of them.
Yeah.
And so Rika's, I would say mood swings are very much intentional.
Yeah, totally.
Changing from, and even her personality, switching from, happy-go-lucky innocent girl to brooding, grandmother who's sick of your shit is obviously supposed to parallel that.
Also, Herds, I don't mean to alarm you, but the air conditioning in this building switched off 5 minutes ago. So if suddenly we get very sweaty and exhausted,
that's why.
It's
also very late. It's been a long day.
You can just hear the sweat dripping down our faces.
I can feel it. It's smooth and slippery. Good thing I have my trusty water bottle here that I think is actually leaking onto the table.
Yep.
No, not at all. It's good. It's good. It's at just the right temperature.
Except now it makes loud noises when you put it on the table.
I'll shush you.
Put it on the floor, you irresponsible boy.
I refuse. I'll put it down next time I pick it up.
Okay.
If I pick it up, it's going to make noise.
I don't mean to continue this tangent.
Yes.
But I have this water bottle here with me that is actually like a thermos water bottle.
Yeah.
I owned this water bottle for 2 years before I discovered it was thermally insulated.
Really?
Yes.
What'd you think it was? Just nothing?
I just thought it was a thick-walled metal water bottle.
Yeah, fair enough.
But you might think to yourself, Felix, you probably discovered this because you put some, cold liquid in and left it out in the heat and then take a drink. You would be wrong.
Okay.
I discovered this because I left a small bit of liquid in the bottom of it that, yes, remained cold, and that was part of the conclusion of my observation. But the first thing I noticed is that I put a little bit of water in, hit the bottom, and I was like, it makes a nice note. Kind of got a little wobble to it. Has a little bit of a wobble to it. But then I was like, I wonder if I can change the pitch of that. I poured more water in.
Yep.
It didn't change.
Oh.
And I was like, what?
Oh, my.
So then I went to take a swig to see what it was like, and the water was still cold. And I was like, it's 2 layers of metal.
There you go, that's why.
Just like the many layers of this story. There you go.
Just like
Brought
an
the
onion.
tangent back
It's
around.
like an onion.
Thank you, everyone.
I just wanted to say before we go on, though, have you ever called your water bottle a drink pot? Is that a phrase that you've heard? A drink pot?
It's one that I will use from now, but I cannot think of an
Well,
instance.
I just wanted to let you know that that's what I used to call water bottles back in the day. That's what my family always used to call them. The drink pot. Take your drink pot to school.
I'm a big
but
fan.
I think that water bottles are much more like proper Australian way, as proper as you can get in Australia, of calling it, a receptacle of liquids.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of just subbing in unnecessary alternatives
Drink
to
pot.
words.
Done.
Yeah.
It's a good word.
How long are they going to make us wait? These people seem to be free. They should let us talk to them. Those are just general office workers. We have to talk to the actual social worker responsible for the case, said one of the 2 people on screen.
We got to figure out who it is.
Yeah, that's right.
Vote for all of us. I wonder if they're busy because I have a lot of cases like this.
I feel like we should lose points because it was entirely our fault for not paying attention to that.
No, we don't lose points for that.
Okay.
Come on, we just gave Rika like 100 points last episode.
Oh, you're
We
right.
need to fight that man to the death.
We should.
Assuming that we're not even right now, we just don't know it. But
How many points do you want to take for that then?
How many lines were there? 3 lines, right?
I don't know.
3 lines.
We can't
3
go back
points.
and check.
3 points. That's what my memory says. And if there weren't 3 lines, then subtract 3 points. And by lines, I mean 3 like switching between the characters, not literally 3 lines. I think there were 6 lines.
I also like that the lines we skipped were completely inconsequential to the scene too, because that just totally read like the opening to a scene.
Yes, it absolutely did. I bet you it was and then we got to the child consultation center and all of the characters were here. I'm done.
I don't know. I wish they didn't have so many issues to deal with.
Me too.
And all of society.
Oh, God damn it.
Thanks, Rika.
That's
Love
right.
you.
I'm ready. Illy. This world is tragic. So many kids are being abused.
Oh, no.
Damn girl.
Who?
Is it Rika?
I don't know.
I guess it must be Rika, question mark? After 30 minutes, they finally called my name. Oh, shit! Wait. Oh, it's not Mion. It's somebody else.
Who
is it? Well,
don't know.
I wrote down my name at the registration as Mion Khan. No, she's from the Sonzaki family. You know what? I'm going to keep going with Rika then. Screw it. Wait. I wrote.
Keiichi.
Oh, come on.
It's Keiichi.
Why is it not Rika? She's back in action.
Can you just read this line as Rika?
I'm Mayabara. My name was called.
I went to the receptionist to find a uniformed older lady. She must be one of the office workers Mion mentioned, here at this office, where she is working. Was she really going to be the one dealing with us?
Oh, hello, Mayabara-san. Oh, I see you're here with 4 other friends. How can I help you today?
The only thing I wrote on the registration was that I wanted to talk about Sadako Hojo. Well, we're here to talk about Sadako Hojo. Chie-sensei from Hinamizawa Branch School called and made a report yesterday. We'd like to discuss the case.
Oh, are you her friends?
Yes.
Oh.
We are her classmates.
Wink. Oh, would you please give me a general summary of what you wish to discuss?
I heard that you guys put a hold on it because you determined that there wasn't any abuse happening. So we've come here in order to explain Sadako's situation in more detail.
Oh, I see. Please wait a few more minutes.
That was it from her then.
We never saw her again.
A real social worker should be coming here to talk with us.
She's not a
Rika
real...
throwing shade at the desk people?
Like, desk people, they're not real people.
The receptionists
okay?
don't do the real work.
It's the people in the background, like me, Ryukashi. You know me, the real social workers.
That's right.
It's me.
She was just asking us basic information. Stop slapping the table. With that done, she was talking on the phone. No. If you slap this table, then this world will start collapsing as you slowly sap the hope from it.
I hit the cough button, okay?
But it comes through my microphone. They're on the same table.
God damn you. Get a different mic. Go over on a different table.
I do have a different... What do you... There's no other table in this room.
I'm so done. I'm so done with you.
I don't know how I meant to track my voice lines.
She's talking on the phone.
Director, yes? Can we get this guy out of here?
No.
Absolutely.
No.
It'll be my pleasure to
can't
evict
move
this
me.
man from the
You
studio.
can't move.
There we go. He's off. He's out of here. He's out of here. Thank you. Thank you very much, Director. All right. That'll do for now. With that, with that done, she was talking on the phone and explaining it to someone what I just told her. I fucked that sentence up or whatever.
Damn right you did.
Can we get a retake on that line?
No. No retakes.
Shit.
We don't do retakes on this show.
Oh, God damn it. How's he back on? Director,
Yo,
what?
I'm taking
What?
it back.
What do you want? No, I don't want your excuses. I want this man out of here.
No, I'm taking it back. This is what I take back my life from you. Okay.
You can't work in these conditions. How am I supposed to work in these
I'm
conditions?
trying to say my line, Keiichi Mayabara. Put that man in a box. Put that kid in a box. Get him out of here. It's Renner's line.
I could not turn that mic down any further and you were still clipping it.
No. That's what happens when you get me excited like this. Can't keep me down. You got to deal with it. Oh. Directors.
The worst.
Playwrights are even worse. All right.
Whoa.
Don't work in theater. What did she ask?
She asked me why I was here. She told me to wait for a few more minutes. I hate waiting like this.
Me too. The calm before the storm.
Ugh.
Oh, are those posters and advertisers you've been reading that interesting, me?
I see lots of flyers about abuse. I guess we came to the right place.
I guess so.
Well, I don't know. This looks a lot like an airport to me.
Not in this game. Report the abuse before it escalates. Check out that slogan. Check it out.
There's a bunch of postings with slogans like that in here. I guess that's what the Child Consultation Center is for.
For consulting on child issues.
Yes.
And it's a center. Is it any help if it's inside the building, though?
Damn, Ryukashi taking shots.
Yo!
Rika-chan was right. They should be posting them all over the city, not just inside the building.
But that's like littering. I just put posters anywhere.
You do know that like billboards and like public advertisements are a thing?
It's dumb. Because then you put all the stuff on the billboards and then they never get taken down for like a year. So you have people being like, join my psychology experiment at the university. And you look at the date and it's from like 2 years ago.
Okay, but Ben.
You could have gotten $10 from participating. And now it's not even worth anything. It's just a piece of paper in a bathroom
let's say
stall.
for case of example here, Ben, the child support, whatever it's called in your country.
Consultation center.
Yeah. Takes that advertising spot and leaves that up for a year. Is that a problem?
Yes, because there could be more current psychology advertisements for tests being done that I get a free lunch off of.
I think you want to dig yourself out of that hole there.
No, I refuse. Child consultation centers are less
Do your
important
line.
than student psychology.
Do your line.
Oh, Vayappa-sama. Thank you for waiting. Please go to room number 2.
It's our turn now. Let's go.
It's our turn.
As we walked, we saw rooms numbered 1 through 3.
With all my life, and finally it's here.
I thought we were going to be talking at the counter like you do at the bank. They have individual rooms.
I guess it's for privacy reasons. Most of the people who come here don't want other people listening to their conversation.
But I think abuse might be increasing because people try to keep the issue quiet.
People tend not to talk about their family issues.
Room number 2.
Number 2.
It's this one.
This one. But room 2.
I heard the voice of a lady telling me to come in. Hello? It's a very small room. Well, I should say it was narrow. It wasn't wide, but it was very long.
Just picturing like supervillain tables where it's like the one seat and then like 20 meters.
Yeah, and this lady's got her like her fingers like pressed up against each other, like, welcome, Mr. Mayabara, for the last time. And it's just Higurashi.
There was a counter in the middle, which split the room in 2. The lady was sitting on the other side of the counter.
She's got glasses. She got those like little things trailing down, like glasses holders. Look, she's evil.
She told us to take a seat, but there were only 2 chairs.
Straight up evil.
I sat down since we registered under my name.
Also, clearly about 7 chairs in the background there, but whatever.
Mian wouldn't sit because she felt that the Sonozaki sisters shouldn't be in the front. Rena tried to offer the seat to Rika-chan, but she refused to, so Rena ended up taking it.
Oh, poor Rena.
It was such a tiny room that it was better for us to take a seat. It was very cramped with the 5 of us.
I'm sorry. We usually expect to see the parents, so we only have 2 chairs.
I understood that.
So, how may I help you today?
Should I do the talking? Well, we're students from Hinamizawa Branch School, and we're Sadako Hojo's friends. The school reported that she was being abused to the Child Consultation Center, and I believe that a social worker went to her house last night. We heard that you put a hold on her case, and we're here today so we can explain to you how urgent the matter is. Mian nodded. Seemed like I was doing okay so far.
Yeah. What are you trying to explain to us? Will you please tell me?
Well, I know it's only been 2 days since her uncle took her away, but it's only a matter of time before he starts hurting her. In fact, Sadako suffered terrible abuse at the hands of her uncle last year as well. We believe it's only a matter of time before that happens again, so we would like for you to save Sadako from her uncle before it does. But from what we understand, the Child Consultation Center has decided to wait and see, right?
Are you going to neglect her? I can't believe that you left her there just because she's not getting physically abused. It was going to be responsible when she really gets hurt.
Shion probably didn't like how politely I was speaking to her. She was already flaring up with rage at the social worker. It looked like Mion didn't want her to tear into her. However, she let Shion finish, and she'd get even more furious if we tried to stop her. The lady seemed to be used to people losing their temper, and she continued without reacting to Shion's outburst.
I would like to make it clear that we are still working on her case. The results are still pending. We are not abandoning or neglecting her.
Working on her case. They're not abandoning her. They're currently reviewing options, I suppose.
Words are cheap.
While their mature phrasing made me start to think it might be rude and harsh to say that they were abandoning her, Rena quietly opened her mouth.
But you left her there without doing anything last night.
No one can even fool Rena. Taking their time to review options was the exact same thing as abandoning her. The fact is, they left her in that house without taking any actions to prevent her from being abused.
We sent a social worker to her house, and they met with her guardian. We cannot talk about the case any further for privacy reasons. However, we are not neglecting her. We are going to look after her and her father so they can have a healthy life together.
He's not her father. He's her uncle. Are you sure you really did an investigation?
Oh, damn. Excuse me. You're correct. They're uncle and niece. Anyway, we'll be directing them so guardian and child can form a healthy relationship.
Shion had pounced
on her mistake immediately. I didn't think she needed to be so snappy, but at this point I was starting to understand how different their sense of urgency was from ours. Well, excuse me, but Sadako was living a happy life before, without any support from her uncle. First of all, her uncle disappeared from her life for a full year prior, and now he's returned and kidnapped her away. Isn't that a crime?
No, and we've already covered that, Keiichi.
It wasn't a kidnapping. It's the law that a child must live where their guardian appoints them to live. According to Article 821 of the Constitution, the legal guardian of a child is...
He neglected Sadako for a year. How can he still be considered her guardian? Shion, that's what the court decided when her parents died of the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Are you serious?
Are you serious? That guy is her legal guardian?
Yes. I don't know the specific article of law it's written in, but mine must abide by their guardians. It's 821. In other words, every child has a guardian. They have to have one.
You told me that the one that was just mentioned... Oh, damn, it's a different one.
It's a different one.
Oh, showed us.
We've been
showed up.
got fact-checked.
Oh,
What?
Damn. It's all right. Rikushi, look.
I see. It's the following
different-
article about how the guardian can take... I see now. I follow.
I see. Well, there we
It's
go.
Article
That's-
818 of the Civil Code.
Article 818 of the Civil Code.
When Sadako's parents died, her uncle and aunt automatically became her guardians?
Yes, the closest relative gets custody. It seems her aunt and uncle were Sadako's only relatives.
Damn.
Sadako and Sadashi refused them. They could have had a different guardian, though.
They're not a very, big family. Think about it, how Zanazaki family has this, feud with the Hojos, but there's really only, 3 of them, and, now there's, 2 of them. I don't know. It seems like a bit of a big feud to have between yourself and 2 other people, and the Zanazakis seem to be covering most of the village.
But that's also the whole modus operandi of the village/Sonozaki family.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that it's it is all of us against them.
I mean, you're right.
And
That's why I'm very curious.
as far as the Sonozaki family saw, at least in the dam conflict, the Hojo family was the representation of Tokyo.
For sure. I just find it curious. I suppose it's more about that they're able to get away with, it's us, it's the Sonozakis versus the Hojos.
Yeah.
When they're there's way more of them. And the Hojos don't even seem to be much of a family in and of themselves, I suppose.
Yeah. But they were the children of the Hojo family, the enemy in the dam conflict. No one was going to take care of them. They were different from Rika-chama. Lots of people wanted to be her guardian, but Father Kimiyoshi got custody of her.
No lines.
I knew the Hojo family was in favor of the dam project, and the whole village hated her family for that reason. But I thought everything was over after they canceled the project and Sadako's parents died. Was I aware of the difference? The difference between how the villagers treat Sadako and how they treat Rika-chan? The villagers don't abuse Sadako like her uncle. But maybe there were small thorns left in the village, and they were still stinging Sadako occasionally.
I can't say this too openly, but Sadako's family had more assets than her uncle's. And by becoming her guardians, they gained control over those assets. That's why they shamelessly took over Sadako's home. Do you know where they used to live? It's a ridiculously tiny place.
That's horrible. But this guardian neglected Sadako-chan for over a year, right? Can he still claim custody of her? Can he? Well, in Part 4, Chapter 4 of the Civil Code, there are provisions for the loss of custody.
The lady opened a thick book on the counter and showed us that page.
I hope you're ready for a lesson on law.
I didn't completely understand what it says on there, but it seemed that a parent can lose custody when they're being irresponsible.
So, the law can take away the right to be someone's guardian.
Wait a minute, it says something about court. Let me see. At the behest of the child's relatives or a public prosecutor, the family court may make a ruling for the loss of parental authority. What the heck is this? We'd have to sit around and wait for a family court's rulings before he can lose custody. That's too slow.
Well, if something urgent happens, we can temporarily protect her under our own custody. We will also need approval of the family court in that case.
Here, Article 834 for the loss of parental authority. Doesn't this apply to Teppei Hojo? It is a fact that the guardian, Teppei Hojo, abandoned his responsibilities as a guardian for over a year. What is the center's opinion on that?
I can't answer for privacy reasons, but the center requested an explanation on that matter as well. And you accepted his explanation, so you decide to wait and see. Like I've mentioned, we are currently working on this case. The safety of the child is our number one priority, and we'll make sure that she'll have a healthy lifestyle in a safe environment.
We weren't on the same page at all. They just weren't understanding the urgency. I never met this Teppei guy. I only know about the situation based on what my friends told me about last year and what Chie-sensei told us, but I still understood very well. I understood that something really bad was going to happen if we didn't take action right now. She was being abused by her aunt and uncle last year, too. Are you sure that the same uncle can take care of her? You still have the records from last year, don't you?
I can't discuss her past record with you for privacy reasons, but we are taking everything into consideration. She didn't come to school yesterday, and she didn't come today either. He called the school and told them that she has a cold, but don't you think it's a bit odd that she hasn't come to school since he showed up? That's true, but then she really might be sick. I think we should keep our eyes on her and see what happens.
We just know that Sadako doesn't want to be with her uncle. Her uncle is forcing her to stay with him.
Our social worker spoke with the child and made their decision after doing so.
So that's it, isn't it? You're not taking this case seriously because she's made a false report long ago?
I cannot talk about that for privacy reasons. We're taking everything into consideration.
Sadako is telling you that she's not being abused because she feels guilty about her brother Sadashi. She may have told you that she's not being abused, but I don't believe that statement.
Do you know that people can lose the will to seek help when they have depression?
Stop making excuses and hurry up and save Sadako. I'm not going to forgive you people if something happens to her. You'll end up hurt if you don't do something about this while I'm still asking politely. Stop it, Shion. You're making us look bad.
I don't know what her uncle said to the social worker, but he's a violent guy. Please don't be fooled by him. I just wanted to make that clear.
We're taking everything into consideration.
Right?
Yeah. So please, speak with a social worker and persuade them to make the call to save Sadako at once. We ask that you do this for us.
Some of us were getting emotional, but Mion calmed them down and Rena summed it up nicely. I stopped speaking to see what she was going to say next.
She says that again. You mean her caseworker? I understand your concerns. I will tell them that Sadako-san's friends, 3, 4, 5 of her friends, came here and made an appeal to us. We will continue to work closely on this case, so please let us know when you have further information. Thank you for supporting the Child Consultation Center, and thank you very much for sharing your valuable time with us today. And then they get kicked out. And that goes in a file in a drawer somewhere.
Yeah. I like that scene was basically written on the defensive for the consultation center, that
sure.
like rather than being like, yes, tell us more, they're like, oh, don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Yep.
Don't worry.
We didn't learn anything from them. It's clear that they're like, it's just another case and we have to go through due process.
Yeah. I think particularly that line right at the end that like, oh, yes, you mean her caseworker, the one that is not me. The one that I will have to relay this information to.
Well, that's the thing, right? Rikushi makes a big point. I mean, we were ragging on earlier about how it goes through the person at the front desk, and then it goes to the person in the office, and then it eventually gets to the caseworker, probably after passing a few more hands to be checked for consistencies.
Yeah.
And then eventually that'll get to Teppei, but probably not to Sadako. Right? Like, that's the problem. That's the problem with, I mean, it's about the Child Consultation Center here, but this is a problem with systems and bureaucracy in general, that the individual gets lost amongst all the noise, right?
Yeah, and I think also, like, you know, it's kind of set up with the optimistic view that, like, yes, improving the relationship between the abused and the abuser is a good thing.
Yep.
But
it becomes something they just say, right?
Yeah, as good as an optimistic goal may be, it obviously in this situation is kind of reflected in that there is a complete unwillingness that is being guised by lies.
For sure.
And there's no provision that we're seeing for that.
Yeah, this is the thing, right? Like, not all, child protective services are this incompetent as we're being shown in Sako's case here.
And also, like, this is set in the past from
Yes.
even when this story was written. So this is like, probably reflective of 1980s.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what he's criticizing.
Yeah. And we can only hope that it's gotten better. I don't actually know.
Well, I can't speak for Japan.
Yeah.
But there are plenty of services, certainly in Australia, that can help you if you're suffering these kinds of issues.
that have gotten a lot more attention and a lot better.
Yes. The one that I actually know about is Headspace, which provides free consultation for anybody who's under, I want to say 25. So if you're having problems in Australia and you're like, yo, what do I do with all this mental stuff? Go to Headspace. They're great.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of these places, when they're like, well, for people under 25, it's like you call up and you're like, hey, I'm 26, and they're like, that's okay.
Yeah.
They're not going to be like,
absolutely.
Fuck you, call a different number.
Yeah, for sure.
You're still in Akinomiya. You're in the city park, devoid of playing children, staring vacantly up at the matter red sky in silence. I was a little confused.
Red matter?
Yeah, I was a little confused by that line, but I kind of liked it in hindsight.
Yeah.
We're going to make a black hole and suck Teppei into it.
That's it. That's how a localized black hole using the engine of his motorcycle.
Oh my
god.
Bit of red matter.
Let's go. Star Trek this shit.
I feel like they didn't really listen to our story.
And that's the power of math.
Wow.
Cut that.
I'm not cutting that.
Okay, good. I'm into it. But they also didn't try to kick us out. He's probably just a person who deals with complaints, not the actual social worker that deals with secretary. We got that confirmed. That's why she was phrasing everything the way she did.
Thank you for beating us over the head with the things that were pretty obvious.
Thanks, Rena.
And it's just like that movie that we were complaining about on Death of the Reader before this.
The difference is that we are independent from the story, so we can hammer things home and be like, we understand everything, and then also have the story tell us what's going on.
No, I think this story is making the exact same mistakes as that movie. I'm sorry, Ben.
Shush you.
It is making the exact same mistakes.
Ren is perfect.
What did you think about the whole thing, Mion?
Well, felt like we were wrestling with a tree. We didn't get pushed or pulled. It's the same as talking to a wall.
It's not true. She said they will forward our information to the social worker. Like I said, she doesn't know Seika-chan in person, so she didn't really have any stake in it herself.
So you think we accomplished something today, Rana?
Depends on the social worker. I don't think it was a waste of time, but I don't think our passion will be understood by the actual person who's working on the case. She'll just tell them that Seika Hojo's 5 friends came and requested for them to take her under their custody.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it was intentional, but it felt intentional that at no point it mentioned that the social worker ever had like notes that they were making. It was only the Constitution.
It was only verbal. It was like, this is what our policies say. Of course, little kids, I'll listen to you, sure.
What about the social worker? Can't we talk to that person
directly?
I don't know. I'm just gonna give Rika a point for that.
Look, I'm pretty sure we were right on that, but I don't know.
Well,
We'll find out in the future.
I don't know. I heard it's a very tough job. I think it'd be difficult for us to meet them in person. Someone even threatened to hurt them if they didn't do anything while she was still talking to them politely.
According to Mion, there are lots of problematic clients who show up at child consultation centers. It's not a rare thing for them to get an aggressive visitor like Shion. It's so difficult to tell them how passionate we are. They might treat us coldly if they took our passion for simple anger.
This is the problem. It's the problem being a passionate person. Everyone's like, God, don't get so agitated about it. I'm like, but I'm just being passionate. Get out of my face.
Stop critiquing the movies and just enjoy them.
I know, right? I'm like, I was excited for the movie. That's why I'm talking about it after I've watched it.
I thought you were used to talking with government officials, Mion.
Terrible.
Can't you talk to them instead of me?
Now I am angry.
It's not that she's good at talking. They just listen to her because she's Mion Sonozaki. You saw how they treated us today. If she announced herself as a Sonozaki, we wouldn't have been in such a small room. We'd have been speaking to the manager in a reception room, right?
Mion gave a vague smile and didn't comment. Mion's greatest weapon is her family name. Without that weapon, she's just as ordinary as the rest of us. I shouldn't be thinking about this, but if the Sonozaki family gave Sadako's family, it'd be really easy for them to save her.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. So, the Sonozaki family still hates the Hojo family?
No one has publicly stated that we hate them, but it runs pretty deep.
Me. Oh, there she goes.
That hag of a grandmother is the one who hates the Hojo family. Her opinion hasn't changed since we were in the middle of the dam conflict. It's been so many years, but she still can't let go of the past.
Stop it, Shi-chan. Sadako-chan is Sadako-chan. She's our precious friend. It doesn't matter what her last name is.
Shion went quiet and there was a silence for a while. Rena was right. Just like how Sadako's last name doesn't matter, it doesn't matter what Mion's last name is either. The important thing is that our friend is being abused right now. We have to do everything we can to save her from that situation.
Yeah. Power of friendship.
Woo! We all looked up at the sky as we listened to the sound of cars passing by. We all felt hopeless. We had no idea what to do. Was what we did today going to help Sadako at all? It would have been better if they just kicked us out. That way we could have been angry with them. But after being treated politely like that, we had no choice but to back off and see what they were going to do.
They were good PR.
We were forced to just wait and see what happens.
Oh, damn.
Everyone was trying to figure out what our next option was. I couldn't expect Chie-sensei to tell us that everything was taken care of at the Board of Education. That'd be too good to be true. Now, what should we do next? I muttered to myself, hoping that someone would respond with a good idea, but the silence reminded me that everyone was just as stuck as me.
Keiichi.
Rika-chan? I'm sorry. I was running my mouth off, but I have no idea what to do now.
I don't believe this.
What? As I looked at her, I realized the expression on her face was stronger than ever.
You told Shion yesterday you didn't have a good idea at that moment, but you said you would figure out something. You told her to trust you. So I trusted you. I'm not going to believe it. I'm not going to believe that you would even mention that you had no idea. I'm not going to believe that.
I could see tears in her eyes. Rika-chan was sure that I could do something about the situation.
You said it. You said that fate is as fragile as a thin piece of paper. I'm going to believe your words. I still believe you because you can easily defeat fate. So, please, help. Help us escape from this fate. Help Sadako. Help her.
A tear rolled down from the corner of her eye. My heart was feeling the same way.
Moist?
Damn it. An innocent girl was becoming a prisoner of a tragic fate. She desperately needed help.
Yes, Sadako.
I told them they could trust me. In other words, that they could count on me. That they could bet on me. Betting is not an easy thing. If I lost, they'd lose their coins too. What does it mean to trust someone? It's about making a bet on that person. It's about betting a coin. It's about betting hope. Trusting someone is tantamount to placing your hopes in them.
Betting a life.
I told Shion yesterday, I told her to trust me. I didn't say it just because I knew that those words meant something very serious. But now, after betraying Rika-chan and seeing her tears, I finally realized just how serious it is. I looked at Shion. She was in a rage again. Mion tried to calm her down, but she didn't have any ideas either. How about Rena? She's always very reliable in a situation like this. I expected to see her strength.
Rena, no.
However, Rena also looked depressed. We didn't even know if what we did was a meaningful thing. Rena looked down with a devastated expression on her face since she couldn't come up with another option either. Damn it. I have to do something for them. Rena's blue fire will melt iron. Mion can be strong when the wind is in our favor. Shion is the same way. They'll move forward strongly when the wind is backing them up, but they grow weak when the wind is blowing against them. Despite the whole situation, Rika-chan still believes in us. She believes that we can do something if we all come together. That's right. We all agreed. We said to each other that we could make a miracle happen if we all worked together. What am I? If Rena is the blue fire, I'm the red fire. I burn brightly and give strength to everyone. That's right. I'm Keiichi Maebara.
The best fucking character.
I'm the magician of words.
Yeah, you are!
I have to motivate everyone. The blue fire won't light up unless the red fire does too. When the fire is lit, there'll be wind. Mion and Shion will become stronger too.
The boys!
Thank you. You just made me realize something, Rika-chan. Now the flames inside me are really starting to blaze.
Keiichi.
We can't give up now. We're members of the strongest club ever. Nothing can stop us when we get together. I can't become depressed over a small thing like this. Rika-chan woke me up. I just realized how serious it is to have people trust in me.
It's time to go full Keiichi Mayabara.
Rika-chan knew our personalities well, and she figured out just who she should motivate first. Well, I'm really starting to burn up.
Oh, God.
Hey, Mion! Stop being depressed. This is where we're supposed to get angry, man. Everyone looked at me with wide eyes as they turned to my powerful voice. They were both surprised by my sudden shout, waiting in anticipation at the vigor of my call. More and more clearly, I could see it. This was Keiichi Mayabara's role in this club. I don't think we did anything at the Child Consultation Center. Just like Rena was saying, they're just going to forward a small note saying the 5 of us made a visitation. Being treated like that just lit the fires of our anger.
Damn right. We were useless.
You're right. It feels like they gave us the cold shoulder.
We were trying to get them to realize how much danger Sadako is in. We have to fight now. We have no time to be sitting all depressed in the park.
But, Keiichi-kun, what are we supposed to do next?
Don't tell me that you think we have no more options left. If this was a club activity, you guys would be losing right now. Oh, this is fun. I was feeling depressed too, but now I've got a burning passion in my heart. I feel like I was cheering myself up. Why was I being so sad? I wanted to save Sadako. I had no time to rest. This was like the final seconds of the last round in a boxing match where we were at a disadvantage. If I stand here stupefied, I'll lose by indecision. So the only option is to press the attack. Was I supposed to give up just because I couldn't knock out the opponent with one punch? No! If I couldn't take him out in one, I'd have to throw 2 or 3 punches. I'd have to try until I could finally knock him out. Until my hands were bloody, knuckles dripping with wet blood.
That's a bit much, Keiichi. But turn the psychopath down a little bit.
You're saying we're going to go there tomorrow?
Close, but not exactly.
Keiichi. It's time.
I have no idea what's on your mind. It sounds very interesting. It isn't like our club to cry ourselves to sleep. Need to turn this headwind around.
Yes, Mion is getting her willpower back too.
That's right. I agree with Keiichi-kun.
I just took a huge breath to continue
I know you
monologuing,
did.
and
You're ready. You gotta
nothing
take a
to
hot
do.
second. I'm ashamed that I was so depressed. Let's fight on.
But what exactly are you trying to do?
Remember, everyone, that lady really pissed us off today, but she also told us what our next option is. She never thought she was giving us a hint. She made a huge mistake.
Oh, God.
On top of that, the next option is something that I'm really good at.
Oh, God. Beating Teppei's head in. No? End of chapter.
End of scene.
Whoa!
What?
It's all right. We got Renner's smiling face. That's all that matters.
All
Well, that
I
was the
hope
thing.
is that Keiichi's idea isn't to abuse Sadako first.
What? No! He's not that terrible. He's not that much of a complete idiot. I hope you're ready, Felix, for the crowning moment of Keiichi Mayabara, because that's basically what this chapter is.
I'm curious, Ben, because many times on this show you've said that, you know, the apex of this story to you is Arc 6.
Yeah.
And I understand that it's phenomenal and
Absolutely.
why you think so.
Yeah.
However, you're telling me that the peak of Keiichi Mayabara happens...
The peak of his insane madness, so to speak,
Okay.
is definitely this arc. The peak of what he can do.
Oh, hey, we get the receptionist notes. That's nice.
Oh, there you go. Number, date, year. Who cares about those things? Subject, about Sadako Hojo-san. Visitor Keiichi Mayabara and 4 other friends. They are requesting protection for Sadako Hojo-san to save her from being abused by her uncle. Already being dealt with? Question mark. I'm cleaning out the refrigerator, so please remove your personal belongings by this evening. That's it.
Sick note.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same as the shopping list, right? There was like, here's all the stuff about Rena Ryuga's report, but none of that matters because it's also my shopping list.
Yay!
Yay, government bureaucracy. Teppei suspected that Sadako was hiding more money somewhere. That's not a line you want to open a tip with. But in reality, she had none at all. That's also a bad line. Teppei had asked her how she survived until now. but she told him that she didn't have to use any money because she was living with her friend. Teppei had made some money off of illegal gambling. While he had some of that money saved up, he had no intention to use it on living expenses. However, there was no way Sadako didn't have the money. Teppei was convinced of that. Teppei's wife, Sadako's aunt, must have taken away the family bank book when Sadako's parents died in the accident. But her aunt also died last year, and Satoshi is gone too. That means Sadako should have hidden the bank book somewhere. If she was, had the self-awareness to worry about things like bank books.
Yes.
How old is she at that time? Like 9?
We don't know.
It's very young. However, no matter how much he threatened her, she told him that she didn't know anything about it. He continued to question Sadako, still believing that she was hiding it somewhere. He couldn't beat her because her teacher in the child consultation center would suspect him. Unfortunately, so he wouldn't beat her. Instead, he spoke to her in a loud and violent voice and broke furniture in front of her. Threatening people like that is Teppei's forte. However, Sadako continued to claim that she had no clue about the bank book. She didn't seem to be lying. After destroying the whole living room, leaving Sadako frightened like a scared little animal, Teppei finally believed that Sadako had no idea where the bank book was. In that case, where could it be? Teppei had 2 ideas. One idea was that his wife hid it somewhere in secret. The other idea was that Satoshi took it after his wife's death and hid it somewhere else. He'd just have to rip open the floorboards. Oh god, is that really where this is going? Either way, he was certain that it was hidden somewhere in this house. He told Sadako to clean up the mess he made in the living room and started searching around the house. Teppei was starting to get bored with Sadako. He'd heard that Sadako's parents had a lot of money saved up, but his wife had taken control of that money herself. Since his wife had been quite thrifty, he was sure that she left the bank book somewhere without using it. Once he got his hands on that money, he could move somewhere else entirely. Teppei was still acquainted with a few people from the gambling spot in Gogura. People he used to help out are still hanging around that area. They still owe him. They should at least let him crash there. It was great that Sadako takes care of all the chores around the house, but Teppei felt uncomfortable at being watched by both the school and the consultation center. Teppei, all too aware that he's a man of violence. Do you think that anybody considers himself that way? I am a man of violence. Except for like cowboys.
That's kind of the most disgusting thing about his character, right? Is that he clearly has enough self-control that he can just like go through an entire torrent of rage
and then just switch it off. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Like this whole I can put up the act of violence to try and bully Sadako, and then it's not working. I'll just go back to lounging about.
It's probably more in his head something along the lines of this is how I'm best at getting my way in life.
This seems to work on people.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's it's more of a strategic play than it is derangement.
I mean, that's I'm not that, big on child psychology, but that's why when kids tantrum, you're not supposed to give them what they want because they realize, oh, tantruming works.
Exactly.
I should do that again, right?
I mean, it's the same with the same with anything. It's
it's behavioral psychology.
You train a dog. You fucking you let the dog bite things, it'll continue biting things.
Yep. Especially if you pet it afterwards. If you pull it away and start petting it, oh, I bit things and it pulled me away and I got pets. Great, good stuff. I'll bite more things.
Yeah.
But he couldn't stand living with Sadako without being violent towards her, like some kind of rabid dog. The more he suffered, the stronger his urge to beat up Sadako grew. Since Teppei only knew joy through forcing others who resisted to submit, testing to see how violent he could be before the helpless Sadako resisted him was something he was excited to try eventually. Still upset over the visitation by the school teacher, Teppei promised himself that he would destroy Sadako's life before leaving the village. Kind of a dick. Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a tiny,
I will say that
weeny, extraordinarily small penis.
This is true. I do wonder if they turn him a bit of a Disney villain by this point, though. Good grief. He is just the scum of everybody's earth at this point. There is no redeeming quality.
Mm.
Yeah. There you go.
I did like that chapter felt a lot less run-on than the last one. The end of the last one, it was and scene, as you probably heard us. But this one,
there's so many times we can cut here.
Yeah.
But Keiichi's speech that he was I see. I'm the guy who hypes up all the club activities and literally instigated half of them over the course of the previous arcs. That's my job. That's my role in the club.
Yeah, totally.
Is to hype people up. And he does that, and then we cut on Renner's smiling face. And that's all it needs to be. It's great.
Anyway,
Perfect. It's a perfect ending.
congratulations, everyone. You've made it through to the end of another video. It's been a pleasure
Yay! Thanks for suffering with us.
joining you. Listen to Death of the Reader, and we
Yeah.
will see you next
Next time.